Hi, Billy. I'm Selina from The Upcoming. Nice to meet you. So, what inspired you to audition for the film initially? Because I heard you've read the book as well.
Sure. Yeah. No, the source material. I'd read the book and then read the script and saw that the script had been adapted by Ian. I was like fascinated by the idea that a writer of his stature could like wrestle with his own writing so much, and imagine that he probably did. The outcome of that is something that's unique, apart from the book, but is also a very true, very honest adaptation. I think, and so yeah, that responsibility I was immediately fascinated by, and then the people who were already attached, I was fascinated by that also. So yeah, that would be it really.
And were there any particular challenges you faced to portray such a sort of, demanding character?
Yeah, I think trying to understand the social and cultural kind of background to it, really, the history of the piece, because it is a period piece of writing, really. You're talking 1960s Britain. It's comparatively recent, but it was very, very different, and people acted very differently around one another. So I'd say that was that, really, having that kind of, the research that went into that was quite extensive from all of us, and a lot of it was discussion-based, and we'd all share ideas. It was a very collaborative effort, so yeah, it was good. Well, he's young, but he's growing up in a time of real transition in England. We've got the sort of post-war hangover, and culturally and socially, we haven't quite got into the 60s. The Summer of Love is, 5-6 years away. So it's a very strange place. We're kind of like on the cusp of something happening. We kind of feel that a burgeoning kind of excitement and things about to change. Edward is into, American influences, so a lot of blues music, a lot of rock and roll, that sort of thing. It's mentioned quite a lot in the film, and it was really an important thing for me. I think it was something that I focused on quite a lot doing, trying to portray Edwards, and he comes across this girl who's quite straight-laced, comes from a very different thing. The way I kind of imagine it is like on Edward's side you've got someone like Kandinsky, and then on the other side we've got very straight lines and very kind of classical composition, which is Florence. And so they're completely juxtaposed, contrasted beautifully, and then they come together, and it's almost a perfect match. And I suppose really what happens is, because of certain awkward or embarrassing events, during their honeymoon period, things go wrong and it backfires, and particularly Edward doesn't listen, really. He refuses to listen to what's actually going on. I don't just mean listen to what Florence is saying, but I mean listen to her as a person, as a human, what's going on behind the scenes, in her mind. And so, yeah, that backfires, and they part ways, and they never see each other again. Well, I think probably the biggest thing I'd say is Saoirse's capacity for, funnily enough, is listening to someone else, again as an actor, in performance and sort of off camera too. Her compassion, her generosity, and forgiveness also, I suppose. If someone does put a foot wrong, she's there for them. She's a very nurturing soul and way of, nurturing soul. I'll leave it at that. He is not scared to talk about, darker facets of our humanity, and he's not scared to leave something irresolute and bleak, because often things in life are that way. There isn't a kind of really neat tying up of everything, of narrative loose ends at the end of our lives, and a lot of the stuff that he writes is based on incidental decision making, because our narrative is very much down to us. It's self-determined. It's not determined by any higher power, in my opinion. And I think he talks about that in a lot of his work very well. And also loss, I think, is a really big theme for him. It's right up my street. I've mentioned it a few times. It's almost starting to sound like a soundbite, but toxic masculinity is like a common term that people understand, and it's a very real thing. And really, to me, what it means is a lack of patience, a lack of humility, a lack of compassion, and a sort of decided inability to listen to your romantic counterpart. I think listening is probably one of the biggest things. Sex and sexual relations are a form of communication, amongst all the other things they are. They can be very exciting, but they can also be incredibly damaging, as this film proves, I think. Sure. Well, it is very exciting. It's early days for me to say much more than that, but it's a very different beast. So, yeah, we're talking medieval Britain. So it's yeah, a very different beast, but equally exciting for sure. I mean, it's a real privilege and a pleasure to just be here, to be asked to be here, and to have created something that's worthy of being here. So, yeah, I'm just very happy, very thankful.